The city of Marlborough's first responders are always ready at a moment's notice. Whether it's a 3-alarm structure fire, school evacuation, or emergency medical situations, we know that we can count on the fire department to be on the scene without hesitation. What happens when one of their own goes down? How do the first responders tend to a fallen comrade? We were lucky enough to get an inside look at the preparation and training that is undertaken by the fire department to get them ready for these life and death scenarios. Rapid intervention team training. The situations we're about to witness are all prefabricated. The response, however, is real. The Marlborough Fire Department received federal grant money to allow them to take on this large endeavor. Had it not been for the help of the taxpayers, they would have had to do this on a much smaller scale, producing a less effective result.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Firefighter Jones. I'm lost and out of air.
Guys ready? Yep, stay up.
Hi, copy. Are you out of air right now or just low air?
13-1. Nothing on the second.
Joe, go ahead. The next cubicle down. Check down that way, but don't go down again. Craig, you okay? Joe?
I'm hooking this tank. Ready.
In order to recreate realistic emergency indoor conditions, the firefighters are fitted with masks that are blacked out with a gray paint, simulating the smoke screen they will likely encounter in a burning blaze. When faced with these conditions, verbal communication becomes vital.
What's that? I'm going down the hallway. All right, come on.
Let me get this off.
When lives are on the line, the less guesswork, the better. Our first week of training takes us to the old Walker House on Farm Road. The department gears up as they would for any other emergency. The difference here is that rather than dealing with a mass evacuation, our responders are given multiple scenarios involving another firefighter down within the confines of the structure.
Different sections of the house are trying to mimic what it might be in a real condition. Smaller rooms, obstacles and stairs and things that we have to encounter during the rescue of a firefighter. So you have to deal with getting someone that has full fire gear with an air pack on, how to move them around and get them through doorways, down halls, out windows.
In some cases, the firefighters are given a dummy to work with. Filled with sand, the dummy alone weighs approximately 140 pounds. The use of sand as filler creates the sensation of dead weight, making the body difficult to move. Add a 40-pound air tank on the back, and our responders are faced with a cumbersome object. Here we get a glimpse of how difficult it is in blinding conditions to apply the compressed air valve to the victim. Luckily, there is an instructor hovering over the scene to give specific directions for the step-by-step approach. Had this been an actual emergency, there would be no margin for error. In a situation in which the body is located in the basement, or the only exit point is through an upstairs window, the responders must carry the body upstairs in the safest and most efficient manner possible. In order to avoid injury to the firefighters and the victim, this daunting task requires specific instruction. Once again, verbal communication is essential.
Stop.
We're now going to take a rest.
Much like deep-sea divers, the firefighters are equipped with a self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA, filled with compressed air as their lifeline inside. Each SCBA is fitted with a personal alert safety system, or PASS device. It's an integrated system that serves as an alarm of sorts for each individual firefighter. Within 20 seconds of emergency, these devices put out a graduated chirping sound.
The device will start activating, and it will be a tiered system. It will slowly start going off, and it's by motion. So if the firefighter is not moving, it will start sounding. Now, there's a full alarm part of it, and there's also a partial alarm, and that's that tiered section of it. So if we just shake and move it, it will reset itself. But if it's over a certain amount of time, it hits that alarm stage, it will continue to sound until it's reset.
We caught up with Captain Fortin at the fire department to get a demonstration of the SCBA in action.
This is the mechanism that sits on the lower back and actually is the movement device that will prevent the pass from sounding. Inside here there are a couple of metal balls that, as long as they're moving back and forth, the pass device will not sound.
Training week number 2 takes us to the Hewlett-Packard office building. Deputy Chief Ron Ayotte explained to us the advantages of doing the rapid intervention team training here.
Set up like your typical office building. There are literally hundreds of feet of corridors and cubicles off of that. And when we're doing a search in a building, if we're searching for victims, that's what we're going to be looking for. And if a firefighter finds a victim and he gets in trouble himself, then we're going to have to go rescue him. So this is the perfect opportunity and environment to do this type of training.
The training is set up in teams of 4, which is roughly the size of one engine company. These exercises are using 2 groups with a phantom 3rd group at the ready should they be needed. In a real-life scenario, once a rapid intervention team is committed, a 2nd team is called to be ready should someone from the 1st team go down.
The scenario the firefighters are given this time involves a responder that is lost and disoriented and low on air. Those PASS devices come in pretty handy in these types of situations. In these exercises, we see the team leader laying down a rope line as he enters the building. Deputy Ayotte explains the significance.
The rope is the lifeline. It's almost like the breadcrumbs Hansel and Gretel finding their way back to the cottage. We have the rope, we follow the rope back.
The firefighters went into this exercise without prior knowledge as to which floor the victim was on. By listening for the PASS device, they were able to locate him on the 3rd floor. Unable to see clearly due to the fogged-out masks, the team crawls following the rope line, listening for and calling out commands and directions, all the while keeping their ears open for the sound of the PASS device growing louder. Once located, it is now up to the team to safely get the fallen firefighter out of the building. With an actual body much heavier than the training dummy to move, this proves to be even more difficult than finding him. With the rope line secured, our team proceeds to move him out of the room and down the hall. A job well done.
Okay, nice job. We're going to call it right there. Come off air, guys. Nice job.
Right now, Marlboro is the only city to receive this type of training. The hope is that in the future, other departments will be trained the same way. This way, if they're to go into Northborough, Southborough, Hudson, or Framingham, they'll know what they have for equipment and know the procedure, and they'll all be on the same page. For the magazine, I'm Brian Sullivan.